You've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 3 years now. This is not something you envision for yourself, and you've talked about this in a lot of videos actually for people who follow our content. Are there days that you feel like you want to go back to work? What is the outlook like? Like when you take a look ahead
Man.
of you, do you see yourself? I know you're growing, so I'm not gonna ask you whether you're growing or not, but how do you feel on a day to day? Walk us through your feelings, the ups, the downs, the middle ones, however you feel. Just share your thoughts with us.
Do I feel like I want to go back to work? How is it being a stay at home mom? What are my in and out or day in and day out thoughts? Okay. I laughed at that question because Thomas knows periodically, once a quarter maybe in the year, I have like a little crisis, a little breakdown where I'm like, man, I should go back to work. I feel like I'm not doing enough at home. I feel like I need to get out of the house and just do something that is I'm not expending but rather earning, and like something to contribute to the household and stuff. And a bunch of whatever. I don't know. I'm sure I ramble on about it, but then in the end I don't do it because my conviction is so strong about what my role is here at home for my family. And interestingly, a lot of you have been asking about how we raise Charlie, and how we do all this stuff for him. And what's really interesting about that is that I suspect, as far as intentionality goes and routine and things like that, that there are so many moms 10 times better at that than me. I feel that half or more of the reason for his success is all the decisions we made around him, if I can say that, or around our family, like in terms of me not working, me staying home, there's more to it, me home birthing, me breastfeeding. There were a lot of decisions we made that we felt were in the best interest of Charlie, more than, like a really great routine of like, we teach him this every day at this time on this schedule. Like, yeah, so I know that the decisions we've made have been so fruitful already in Charlie's life and also in my family's life, right? Because I've seen, with other couples where that, when both partners are coming home from work in the evening after a long day, they're really exhausted, but then they have to like do a nighttime routine for their children and there's like hardly any time to connect. And it could just be really tiring and exhausting. And me not having to go to work, not saying I don't have my own version of exhaustion and my own difficulties here at home, because I definitely do, but I am able to bring a different energy, I guess, to my husband and to the home. But I still need my time too. I mean, to be honest, like I find ways to get time alone or to do things to just kind of balance, because it can also drive you crazy being, with your child 24/7 almost, or just being home, taking care of things at home when it's not really that interesting to you. Like some people have a natural disposition or it's a natural like interest in cooking, or some people find cleaning therapeutic, or, it's the things of the household. They don't really find it an issue to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. But I'm not one of those people. There's a lot of friction between, myself and my, all the things that I have to do here, but I'm learning to do it all. And I do it and I try my best to do it, and, to the best of my ability, even mothering. Yeah, that answers that. I think about like going to work like from time to time, like on a regular basis, but it never becomes like a real decision because I always know why I'm here. I always go back to my why, and it's just highly convicting and convicting enough for me to not make that decision. Now, as far as like my day in and day out thoughts, like it's really hard to be a stay at home mom, honestly. My child, whom, yes, I love, of course, I adore him and I love to be around him, but he's not adult company, right? Like it's not like we're sitting having conversations, not at this stage. When he gets older, he still won't be adult company, but we will be able to talk about different things and do different things or whatever. But right now, he's pretty dependent, doesn't communicate, you know, sophisticatedly, let's say. And He's also like very energetic, more than myself. Also has a lot of, big emotions that he's learning to work through, of course. And so it takes a lot to, parent a child at this age, day in and day out, and make sure he gets out, gets some fresh air, socializes, goes to the library, gets new books and whatever. It can just be sort of exhausting, monotonous. It's not just the mothering aspect, it's also the household aspect, right? Like it doesn't matter if you clean every day, like the house still needs to be clean, right? Like dishes get dirty every day. At the minimum, you're doing dishes every day, right? Like, and then there's other things that need to be done. Paperwork can get, you know, dreadful or whatever, It just is what it is, I just got to do what I got to do out here, and I'm trying my best. And one thing I really appreciate is that Thomas, you are very, or he is, I don't know who I'm talking to. Thomas is very reassuring, and he is constantly showing gratitude for what I do at home. And I really appreciate that, because I often feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not a perfect housewife. I'm not perfectly domesticated, making perfect meals every day, keeping the house perfectly clean, and with my son, like I said, on a great, perfect schedule, and so on and so forth. But I do the best that I can, and he sees every little thing that I do, and he thanks me for it. And I really appreciate that. He looks for how to, show gratitude, and I'm really grateful for that. And I try to do same as well. So in that way, we encourage one another, because his position is also not an easy one. Working is one thing, but working when you know you're the sole provider is another thing, and that's a lot of pressure for a man. And, times get difficult, or, you might get tired of your job too, but it's not so simple as like, just quit and find another one, right? Because everything's riding on you financially, and it's just a lot of pressure, a lot of pressure. But yeah, so I'm equally so grateful for what he does, and I don't necessarily envy him, even though sometimes I feel like going back to work, because I don't want to be in his position. Actually, I quite like my position. I think I'm suited for it and built for it, even though I'm still learning. I think that's naturally God has equipped women to do this. So yeah.